Hello YouTube, it's Lynn from Perth in Western Australia. Hope you're all doing well and no one's sick from COVID. I'm going to do a spotlight on Cymbidium Golden Elf. Now I've had this orchid 5 years, and the story is the first orchid society that I ever joined, which was the Orchid Society of WA. When you join this society, they give you 3 free orchids. 2 come from their stockpile, and 1 comes from our orchid nursery in WA, just outside of Perth, which is Easy Grow. And I went along to Easy Grow with my voucher for a free orchid, and this is what I got. It was in bloom at the time, and I was just amazed by its beautiful colour. It's actually coming out paler. If I go closer, maybe you'll get the depth. Okay, it's still a little bit paler, and I'm extremely close to the orchid. You can see it's a con colour, which means it's all solid yellow, no other colours. It's a bit of a stunner, I think, anyway, and it's also one of the earliest flowering orchids, Cymbidium orchids, that we get in Australia. Now, it had 4 spikes and 1 got broken, and unfortunately I took it into Oswa, what's today, Sunday, I took it in Friday night, and on the way in or during something or other, this one got broken as well. So this is actually, you can see this green tape here. This is called florist tape. I've actually splintered it. So there's a piece of wire under the tape, and then I've wrapped it around, and it's starting to open down the bottom. Now the problem with this orchid, actually let me tell you what happened before we get onto the problem. I'll take a step back and go up a step. That's it, and now you can see it. I took it in for judging, I put it on the bench, and I knew that it wouldn't get a first. I was hoping it would get, my best hope for this orchid on the night was that it would get popular choice, because A, it's an early Cymbidium, and I knew there probably would not be any other Cymbidiums in flower unless there was another one of these lurking. And I was correct, it was the only Cymbidium on the table. And although it doesn't have the flower count, and this is the problem here, for an orchid to be judged in Australia, I don't know what it is in the rest of the world, the Australian Orchid Council states that it has to have 7 blooms open. Now, as you can see on this one here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This one wasn't even fully open, and on that there's only 4. And this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And none of those were open. It's only just started to open today. This one I'm talking about right now. Okay, back on the step. But would you believe, and I don't know if this is because I'm a novice or because it's just the quality of the plant, and remember I've had this plant now 5 years, I got 70 points awarded. Now, that's award status. Even though it doesn't have the flower count, the judges awarded this plant with 70 points. Now, I'm not saying that's going to give me an AM or anything like that. It's not, well, as far as I know. But what it is going to give me is at the end of the year, when all our judgments are looked at, I will get something, hopefully, so long as no one overtakes my 70 points for a Cymbidium, I will get a trophy and maybe a cheque at the end of the year for being awarded 70 points for this not fully performing orchid. So I'm very happy about that. Now, on Thursday, I think it was Thursday, I dressed this orchid ready for a show. Now, when I say dressed, it means that on Thursday, most of these leaves were up here. Some were obliterating the blooms or not showing the blooms. They would have been across. So I've actually brought all these leaves down and they're staying down, and look what condition these leaves are in. They're shiny. Now, I didn't clean the leaves. The leaves are clean because of the way I water my orchids. When I water and I feed, and I usually feed nearly every time I apply water to the orchids, I always put a teaspoon or two of soap in my feed, and this is the result. I get beautiful clean leaves, nice and shiny. And anything that was not nice on the leaves, like this is an example here, I would have cut off. I just missed this one. So anything, and there's another one. So I'm going to show this orchid again tomorrow. So I will cut these off before it goes into Northern Districts Orchid Society, which I'm a member of, and I will be taking it there. Now, possibly there may be one or two judges that are doing the circuit and were there Friday night when this orchid was judged. If so, they will notice my broken spike. Hopefully they will ignore it and see that I've actually it can't get judged on that spike. It's not open enough. This is the spike that will be judged, and maybe this one. That one should be fully open by tomorrow. I'll turn it around so you can see. Don't knock it off, Lynn. Don't want it on the ground. So this one is not particularly fully open, this flower here. So those are the two racemes which will be judged, not the one at the back that's broken. So I hope that gives you some information on, one, how to dress an orchid, and two, don't be frightened to take it in, because if you belong to a society and you do present your orchids on the judging bench, they don't necessarily have to win the judges' points, but if your orchid society has a popular vote, it may win the popular vote, which is what this one did. And I got something. We usually get a plant, but I actually picked something up off the table, which was a tea towel with an orchid embroidered on it. So that was pretty nice, because I've got lots of orchids anyway. So I'm taking this to another one tomorrow night. Hopefully they will like it as much as the Oswa patrons did, and give me another popular vote. So that's my spotlight on Oncidium Golden Elf. Hope you liked it.